Hello, everyone. How's it going? I didn't know where to look yet. I got it. Welcome to our special streaming escapade we're starting. It's Kiljoystick and Gamefacekillah.
Hello.
Hello. And she's Kiljoystick. I'm Gamefacekillah. I'm on the video, and you don't want to be.
No, I don't.
That's all right. That's all right. So we're going to be starting something new called Killjoystick and Gamefacekillah Bring the REU. And it's our first episode. So we're going to be talking about the Remedy Extended Universe, and which is one of my favorite kind of gaming things that's going on right now currently. And we'll talk a little bit about why that's kind of interesting to us and why we're interested in digging deeper into this whole mess, and talk about some of where we're getting our research and things we're looking at, and show you a demo of our first game. We're going to take a look at our first game in the Remedy Extended Universe today. We're going to get a glimpse of it because I think that's probably all we'll want to take of that game for sure. So we're starting here with this individual, Sam Lake. He's the creative director of Remedy Extended Universe, and I remember when we started, we probably played Alan Wake first, right?
Yeah.
Of everything. The There was like a remastered edition that came out, and we played it, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was very an interesting kind of concept because yes, you were firing weapons that was supernatural, but then there was also this element of shining lights on things to weaken them first. So, and it had a really, even though the story was a little cheesy, it's an older game, it still was very endearing and interesting, horrifying in some ways, and hilarious in others. And it especially reminded me a lot of David Lynch. Twin Peaks
Yeah.
was kind of the big thing that it was a big connected to, and that was amazing to me. That was a lot of fun. So we started playing other games by then. I think Control was next,
Mm-hmm.
and what ended up happening was is we started realizing, oh, they're making comments about Alan Wake in Control, and it was like kind of mind blowing to think, holy cow, is this like one big universe? Is everything connected? And so I started to kind of research and dug in and realized, oh, this is a bigger rabbit hole than I thought. So I guess to kind of start off with, I'll acknowledge where we started getting all our research. I found this on a Reddit. Sir Gail Hott had done apparently some extended research already, was way ahead of us in terms of looking up the connections between all of these. And when they started in 1996 with Death Rally, that was their first game, which was kind of a post-apocalyptic racing game, Mad Max style. There's even some elements that connect through with that, both their older game and then they made a remake of it later on. And we'll be looking at the remake and talking a little bit about the content of the old game that is connected. And then, of course, the next thing they created was Max Payne, and there are even some connect. We found out there's some connections with that game too, which is a game from the early 2000s. And then we get into the Alan Wake series, 1 and 2, and then there's also a game called Quantum Break and Control, which are kind of interesting in terms of what kind of connections they could possibly have. And so we're kind of looking through those. So I've got a lot of the research, or at least the list of kind of play through and look through things. There's books and websites and articles and all kinds of things to take a look at. So we'll mostly be playing games, and then every once in a while, when we come across like a text, we might read it and talk about it and see the connections in there. But I did get that from Sir Gail Hott. I also found a YouTube video series, or I guess it's just one long video. It's almost 3 hours long. That's connected by Hidden Machine, and he actually started talking about the Remedy Extended Universe, and we're watching it little pieces at a time, starting with Death Rally, which we're presenting tonight, and we're just continuing to look at and see the connections that he makes in that video. So if you want to look that up yourself, Hidden Machine exploring the Remedy Connected Universe, we're using that as kind of our guide as well to go through the games and kind of spot the connections, because I'm sure we'll spot them and then miss a lot too. And then I did find for Death Rally, which we're talking about tonight, I did find, I'm not sure if the owner is Owen MP, but it's on cnet.com. You can do a Google search and find this. The Death Rally Driver Survival Guide. This is from the first Death Rally, which would have been in 1996, the old school version of it that has the Tom Reimer radio broadcast messages that are connected to the Remedy extended universe. And so that's kind of what we're getting at. Why do you think it's interesting to you? Can I ask you that question?
I really like the puzzles. I'm a big fan of doing puzzles in games. As a backseat gamer, I like to help that way. But I like that everything is connected and you don't realize it at first, and then
Right.
characters pop up and you're like, wait, that's from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mystery of it. It's like a good book.
Yeah, it does have good characterization, good cinematic build-up. I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot of games that I played that had full motion video, so the cutscenes were made out of people being filmed. And when they put it in the game, if you look up an old video of a game, they look terrible. And of course, Remedy has got full motion video in their games, and it's way more advanced.
It's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you're basically watching a movie in combination with a game. It switches back and forth really seamlessly, and that kind of adds to it too, that there's real actors that are portraying the parts, and there's some really interesting things that they do with the actors, because early on in the series, some of the actors are just the voice actors, and then there's some physical actors as well that play the physical part, especially with Alan Wake. But they find creative ways of bringing the voice actor into the actual game system as well, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, that's kind of an explanation as to kind of why we are into this. So I guess we're kind of ready to start with talking a little bit about Death Rally, which is the first game they created in 1996. They came out with a remake. I'm not sure when the remake release date is. Let's look that up. You can find both of these games on the Steam store if you're interested in playing them. I have not played the old version, the 1996 version. I've played the 2012 remake, and there's some. It's definitely a lot better. It doesn't have quite as many features in terms of the Tom Reimer radio show, but it's definitely a pretty fun, brainless little racing game, shooter game that you can get into, and we'll be kind of taking a look at that. Basically, the storyline of the game is you're entering the corrupt racing world of Death Rally, where defensive driving means annihilating your opponents. You'll become ravenous for the power and glory that comes with being the best at Death Rally, but first you must pay your dues. Put the pedal to the metal, smash, blast, and obliterate the competition to earn the chance to face the undefeated master, the adversary. Make deals with loan sharks and mob bosses to get the cash you need to build the ultimate battle racing machine. Remember, no trick is too dirty, no spectator too innocent in your savage quest for the checkered flag. It does feature lots of cars to upgrade. Even the updated version also has even more cars. So you're spending time in between missions upgrading your cars, adding different kinds of weapons. There's lots of different tracks. And then eventually in the story mode, you'll be facing the adversary as kind of the final boss. You earn money. You can actually shoot weapons from your car, blow up cars instead of beating them in the race. You can actually just blow them up. There's buildings and things that are sort of... they're more obstacles. They're not really destructible. And then, of course, one of the fun things about the old version of the game is that one of the bosses, I'm not sure if he is the adversary, but he is one of the final bosses is Duke Nukem, which is another famous character from old video games. So the race awaits the fastest cars in the deadly competition, race versus time, or just to survive. Let's see, what other kinds of important information background do we need? By the rules or fry the rules, play to win. Enough said. Now ride your machine, your mortar war chariot. You're sitting behind the wheel of a truck full of illegal auto parts on their way to the notorious Death Rally. It's a lousy job, but somebody's got to do it. A glance in the rear mirror shows only smoke and fire, burning bridges and burning cop cars. A film of red blood covers your cracked windshield. The wipers are out of work. Okay, all right, you're the first one to admit that you had to commit a few traffic violations to get here in time, but that's no reason for the cops to get all excited. You're a man who likes to keep his promises. Before you looms the police roadblock. Several truckloads worth of gun barrels point in your general direction from behind the blockade. Represented deterrents range from infamous peacemaking peacemakers through submachine guns, shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, machine guns, miniguns, grenade launchers, anti-tank rocket launchers, to vehicle-mounted all-purpose anti-everything, auto-loading, infrared homing, guided missile systems. The cops really mean to get you this time. All they're going to do is get trouble. You pump the gas pedal and your truck roars her challenge to the cops. Under the roar, you can hear an echo of the crunching bones from the vicinity of your rear wheels. Come on, dare me, you think. We dare you, punk, blares the megaphone. Oh, they heard you, apparently.
They read minds.
Yeah, you grin madly. Time to rock and roll, and that's when it happens. Clouds seem to part, and radiant rays of sunshine shine down on you, glorifying your blood-washed truck. You can hear angels singing. Your radio seems to switch channels by itself. You are the chosen one, speaks a quick silver voice from the radio. Listen, I am true Tom Reimer, and I know the road you're traveling. I'm the man in the machine, the guru of the cars, the rocket petrol daddy. You show great potential, kid. I tell no lies. Death Rally is your destiny. You could be the one to climb to the top and challenge the demon king of the race, the old hell racer himself, the adversary. Listen to true Tom. Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory. Listen close. And then the moment passes and everything is back to normal, and you put the hammer down and your truck roars forward like a hungry T-Rex. You roar right along with it. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Time to get to work. Suddenly the air is filled with bullets and bombs like raindrops in a heavy metal rain as all the guns go off in a simultaneous nuke boom. Missiles tear their burning trails in zigzag patterns of hidden eating. To the left and right, skyscraper giants grumble and fall in slow motion. Under your wheels, the asphalt burns and melts and disappears into clouds of hissing steam. Yeah. You don't even slow down as you bash through the blockade. You park your truck, mortally wounded in the battle, in a long alley next to the Death Rally pits area. She lets out a long groan and a sigh and is dead still. Auto wrecks smoke and burn by the side of the road. The asphalt is wet with skid marks of blood. Tires shriek with ecstasy in tune with machine gun rumble. Death Rally. You jump out from the truck, and you can hear the sirens closing in. A shady character, his face hidden by a high collar and a hat, is pulling a burned corpse of a driver from a spent piece of trash vagabond racing car. Hey, you the dealer, you shout. His eyes flash in the shadows. Indeed, he answers with a voice as sinister as his appearance. Oh, yeah? Well, I've got a delivery for you. The sirens are getting louder. The cops are really out to get you. Indeed, and I'm grateful. You can imagine the grin on the dealer's hidden face. Well, look, fair is fair. I brought you your goods. Now you got to help me out. These cops are going to be here any second now. You can already see the lights of the cop cars flashing from behind the corner. The deal motions toward the smoking corpse at his feet. It seems that Death Rally is short of one driver, and you must be good since you made it this far. This vagabond here is not as bad as she looks. A new paint job, maybe some tuning, and she'll be as good as new. You nod. Fortune and glory? No kidding. The easiest decision you ever made. You jump into the vagabond and floor the gas pedal. All that the cops are going to find is skid marks and a cloud of smoke. Towards a death rally, destiny filled with glory and gore, you are on your way. So that's the starting giant novel before you actually start playing the game, which is really just a racing game. And so we'll take a look at we'll switch here to our playing mode. Take a look a little bit at the remake game.
If it loads.
Yeah, always takes a little bit. Oh, hold on. All right. So you can see here I created a character I have been playing through the game with, and I'm only at 26%. One of the reasons why we won't play through this game is I've played hours already, and I've only gotten to 26%. Apparently you have a little bit of story that's doled out to you, but it's only like every 30%. So I don't think there's much of a story to it after that kind of introduction. And so it's not going to be worth sitting here for that long to get through it. So probably what I'll do is I'll play through the game on my own and report back if I see anything interesting story-wise. There are a couple of things in the remake that are interesting. So we'll start a character here, which we name our... what about Tom? Let's name him Tom Reimer.
Okay.
Tom Rhyme. You can't make it longer than that, apparently. All right. So one of the things you'll notice, though, there is a little bit of a different introduction with the remake. It doesn't take too long. Thankfully it's not as long. It's only a few minutes, but see if you can spot the famous figure. Already have a little bit of cinematic kind of introduction to start things off. Right now I'm in my starting car. I'm trying to escape the cops. But I will say one thing that's really terrible about this game. It also makes it joystick controls are very hard. It's actually easier to play with the mouse and keyboard.
Just like we practice.
Yeah. This basically can run around eventually. Alright, here we go. From the burning shrieker called...
Well, what do we have here? A stray dog. Take him to the station, boys.
Yeah,
Speed, reckless drive, illegal racing, and countless other felonies. You've been a busy man. In this state, you're about to suffer some serious jail time for your crimes. Lucky for you, I have some use for a fast bastard. You're gonna participate in Death Rally for me. But with your help, we're gonna lure this murderous sonbitch out of his hiding hole. The adversary.
So he's still the same boss. Alright, so basically, you can start with any race you want. You gotta take the car that you're given. And later on, you'll have access to other cars. And you can choose any of the races along the bottom that you want. I'm gonna start with the beginner race. Most of the time you do 3 laps. There's usually like a more famous driver. The guys with the faceplates are exceptional drivers in the races. You always try to command them. One of the connections that you'll see to the Remedy Extended Universe right off the bat is some of the drivers are actually characters from the Alan Wake game. So, for example, there's a character that's the agent of Alan Wake that's as one of the racers in the post-apocalypse, which is kind of funny, Barry Wheeler, because he is not the kind of person you think would be confident enough to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, but he is a racer. And so you'd have to play, it's just random who the named adversary is every round, so you have to play quite a while to see all the connections, and it's not worth it, so. So when you're done with the race, you're going to come back, you got a little bit of cash, $1,600 bucks. I'm going to obviously heal my vehicle because I was almost completely destroyed. Now it's back to normal. And then I can spend the rest on either speed, handling, armor, or just autofill. What do you think?
You almost died, maybe some armor.
That's true.
Until you almost died.
Yeah, I felt like I was pretty weak. I was getting shot up a lot. So you fill that up, then you move on to the next race. Eventually, the goal is to try to destroy other players, gather spare parts. Like, for example, I could gather parts for a shotgun that I could use as a weapon instead. The difference is that with the shotgun, you have to collect 6 parts to get all the parts for the vehicle, or all the parts for the weapon. And then at that point, you've got the weapon. And this is what slowly moves your progress. You can see I'm at 1% right now up at the top. And it takes forever to unlock new cars, unlock all the weapon parts. And so you're just kind of playing forever. I believe this updated version of Death Rally was actually made as a mobile phone app too, so it seems kind of mobile. Yeah, so it does seem like it played much more fun as like a brainless Amy playing between missions, but that's kind of that's true. They are fun, but they're the kind of game you can play standing in line, right? So we'll kind of back out of here now. I'll keep you updated on my playthrough and how that's going, but so far, very tedious and boring. That's what I have to report on that. The last thing to kind of talk about are the true Tom Reimer's tales. So in between missions, like you saw, you're spending money, you're repairing your car, you're upgrading it, and on the radio of the old version of the game, not the updated version, you'll hear True Tom Reimer, who will occasionally jump in. He was the one that was on our radio earlier and seemed to be from another world, or there's hints that maybe he's dead and he's speaking from beyond the grave. And so you can see how there might be some connections to some kind of supernatural thing similar to Alan Wake and their other games. So he'll say different things like, I'll read some of his. Perk up. This is a free news flash. I'm True Tom Reimer, and I know the road. I got petrol in my veins. I got wind in my engine-oiled hair. I've been where you are now, hotshot, Thunderboy, young blood Thunderboy. I like that. I think I'm going to keep that as my nickname. I've been farther down the road than you'll ever get. So he makes these small little radio tidbits, probably in between songs, right? The way the DJs used to do. Listen, this is True Tom speaking. I speak through the mystic ring shapes of your wheels, a genie in the bottle. I sing to you from that beer bottle, half drank on the side of the road. Smell my sweat in the reek and excitement of petrol pumps. It's funny. You can tell this is a European company that makes this game, because no one says petrol except in Europe. So. In America anyway, let's say that if this game takes place in America, which I'm assuming it does, most of their games do, then
Americans are obsessed with racing. So.
Yeah, that's true. So the idea that you wouldn't have done a little research and realize, everybody says gas, nobody says petrol. Listen, this is True Tom talking. Hear me groan mantras and mysteries over the roar and rumble of motor monsters. I'm the man in the machine, the guru of cars, the rocket petrol daddy. I know that twisted road. Listen close. I tell no lies. Are you ready for the ride, magical and mysterious? A long, long way down the yellow brick road, through zillions of miles of blitzkrieg battle prolonged and blazing. Trailblaze through the multitude of unknown uphill struggles the road sends your way. This is it, here, now, in Death Rally, where life is short and hot. Fast and deadly. The race is on. Watch the road. Hear the rumble. Want to play it sweet or play it dirty? By the rules or fry the rules? There's only one way to do it. Play to win. Let's see. Any other supernatural? So my baby walked in when I bought me a new set of wheels instead of a wedding ring. Any regrets? For a while there, but now all bitter regrets are in the past. Blurred sweet streetlights, speeding past fast. The rush, the high, Death Rally, drive it, love it. So not a good relationship guy.
Not a ladies' man.
Yeah. So there's hints throughout that he seems to be kind of talking from another dimension, or maybe he's talking from beyond the grave, saying, maybe taking some pharmaceuticals as well. Has some strange philosophical advice. Fastest man on the track, number 1. Body and soul, yin and yang. You, my motor lord apprentice, are soul in this exponentially accelerating equation. Your vehicle is the body. Can you feel the precious equilibrium slipping and tail sliding from your control? Don't lose it now. Stay tuned. Race time. Things can get real speedy, like I'm talking about the world lightening up lighting up and shining white and then nothing. I'm talking about going out in a blaze of glory. You've been warned. Wannabe victory hounds chasing tail lights blazing far away. Gone, daddy, gone. Not enough juice, but enough potential power in your engine box. True Tom 2 has been there in the same fix you are now. Shoot him down. Apparently, True Tom was a racer who raced the adversary and died. And so he's talking about getting revenge on the adversary as well. He's trying to help you out. Just speeding through here, trying to get through to the good ones. Ride that whirlwind, put some heavy metal to the pedal, put that hammer down. The adversary awaits. Here you come now. There's no turning back. True Tom can see you coming. I tell no lies. So I think there is probably a connection, at least the way the video kind of hinted from Hidden Machine, that True Tom is mentioned somewhere else, speaking beyond the grave. I don't know if there's maybe a message somewhere in some investigative materials or something mentioning him. But also I think there might be a character in Alan Wake whose name is Tom and he's a writer or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, so we'll get into it. I'm sure we might hear from him sooner or later. This is, here we go. Here's the background on True Tom. Listen, this is True Tom talking. Once I tried to prove my gas pedal metal in the race against the adversary. I lost. Only once did I hear him speak. It was when I raised his fist-crowned head and said, "Racer boy, I'm gonna mow you dead." I see. Oh yeah, here's he's from beyond the grave. This is True Tom talking. Yes, I speak to you now from my car coffin grave. It was the adversary who put me here, the demon king of the race. You would do well to fear him. I tell no lies. I know True Tom does. Listen and listen close. Fear him. Fortune and glory, you are special. True Tom tells no lies. Sweet driver, it's been a long and winding road, but now you finally arrived. Oh, this must be when you're beat the final boss. The adversary's reign is over. The demon king is dead. Long live the king of death rally. So there's some hints, too, that maybe the adversary is supernatural as well. Maybe a demon or devil or something. So that's it. That's our death rally game. What do you think? You're much more of like a car person than I am. Is that the kind of game you like to play?
I'm horrible at driving games of any kind.
Yeah. They're not my favorite.
I think I lack the hand-eye coordination to go around the track without like being in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Like position with the camera.
Yeah. Top down is very hard, I feel like, to drive that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any games that have that. I hate racing games. You know me, I'm terrible at cars. If I was an eyewitness to a car accident, I'd be completely incapable of identifying vehicles accurately. I'd say I can tell you whether it was a van, a truck, or a car, a semi. But beyond that, I can recognize a few things. But cars I have that car blindness. All cars look the same to me. I don't know if that's like a form of racism. Carism. That's a form of carism. But that's our first game, Death Rally. So I know we didn't really actually do a playthrough of that one, but you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. We're not doing a playthrough of that one. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next game. So the next stream that we do will be opening up and taking a look at Max Payne.
Which I have not seen.
Yeah, this is a game series. I remember playing it when it first came out in the early 2000s, but I don't even know if I finished the first one. But it's really interesting because when I played Alan Wake, it's nothing like Max Payne, and you'll see it's much more of like a third-person shooter type game, but it has some really cool mechanics that were kind of some of the first times games had done this, like slow motion cam, bullet cam. Mm-hmm. There's a cool feature in that game. So we'll take a look at that. And there's good news on the horizon. Remedy is remaking those games. Cool. So those will be kind of cool to revisit them and see how they modernize those stories. But there's a joke because apparently the main character of Max Payne looks very similar to Sam Lake, the creative director. I don't know if he was actually playing Sam Lake. I think it might have been someone else, but they look very similar. So there's a little bit of a joke in there. And we'll talk about some of the connections, and you can make fun of my playing a lot more. And the game is very cheesy and goofy, so that'll be a lot of fun. All right. Well, until then, I guess that's it. We're signing off, and have a great night. And thanks for joining us. See ya.